searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the
Well, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Let me just set the live that way for when people come and watch the replay, they can actually watch the replay and the chat as well. You guys will appreciate that one of these days when you're catching a replay. But I completely forgot to do that, and I always do that right before the live. So, welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hey, True Crime fam. Um, how is everybody doing today? Of course, I'm messing with I might have to like mess with that in a minute. Of course, I'm messing with my face. As soon as we get on the live, we've got the dog back here scratching away. You'd think this was our first time ever going live. It might be. I think it is this week, actually. It might be this week. No, we went live a couple times this week. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. I am going to put it over to that way you guys can see the chat as it's coming in on the live, if you watch the live replay. So if you're watching a replay, hashtag replay now, that way I know. And you could put that in the comments and be like, thank you for making sure we had that replay, that chat replay. I don't know. If I'm watching a live, I want to make sure that the chat replay is on. Do you guys like that? Look at that. It was on. Usually I gotta come in here and do it myself every day. But I love that. Okay, good. So you guys can see each other. So okay. Now put on subscribers only mode for 2 minutes. It's only 2 minutes of your time. And if you decide, hey, I really don't like the channel, then it's, just a push of a button. But if you guys don't mind, push all the buttons tonight. Push the like button, the subscribe button. What else do we have? The bell icon, so that way you're alerted to all new content as it comes out. I can hear that dog. I don't know. Does anybody want a dog? I'll sell them cheap. I'll sell them cheap. I'm telling you, maybe like a weekend pass. Ooh, that'd be good. Does anybody want to watch my dogs for the weekend? That'd be cool. I'll pay you. I'm just kidding. I love my dogs. That would be though. That would be something I would do. That would like get a hotel room for the day just to get away from the dogs. Hey, Ladybug, how you doing? And I saw that you said that you watched Long Crime. Those I don't think they read the documents or something because what I read, what I skimmed through was like buckle up. I might not even be able to show the text on the screen. It was pretty graphic. Hey, Marcella. Hey, CJK. And you're very welcome. Hey, Laura. We're going to see this case to the end. I mean, unfortunately, we can't really see inside of into the courthouse, right? But they do have, I think Law and Crime actually, they have somebody in there in the courthouse. So he was a good like wealth of information. I did get to see part of him, like that guy talk. But as far as I know, like the guy that does like the main, Chris or whatever his name is, that does the main show, like he didn't act like he really knew. And I was just like, they're saying that he peeked his head out and it was doing this number and that number and all the numbers. And then I had even more questions, than I even started with. I was on there. I went back and listened to old grandma's interview because I was like, let me see when she said she last saw her granddaughter. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. She doesn't say a time, but if you're, man, son of a gun, we're gonna message somebody. Okay, so my friend, I told you about her before. She's a she's probably been on every carnival like cruise there is out there. Like the girl's been on way more extravaganzas than I've been on. But she was the one that told us about like how they like set up the rooms and stuff like that. I wanted to see what time would dinner usually be prepared by. Hey, I have a question for you. On a cruise ship, like Carnival, do you know what time dinner would be? Thank you, love you. I know it's a weird question. I'll explain later. I put laugh out loud. Hey, Arco. Hey, Gak. Hola, baby girl. Cooking tacos. Oh, that sounds good. I haven't had tacos in a while. That's like one of our core staple dinners here. Vincent hasn't been cooking a lot since he got back. We've got to get him to. Just kidding. He's been cooking a little bit, but he went to Vegas, if you guys don't remember. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Amber. Yeah, he left me here for 6 days by myself. I had to feed myself, clothe myself. Okay, I can clothe myself, but I don't ever feed myself. Hey, PKC. Hey, Super Sailor Outlaw George. Tracy, welcome in. Hey, is it Nick? Can I call you Nick or is it NICM? Whichever you want me to call you. Marcella's back. Oh, you got a brand new phone. Oh, what kind did you get? What kind did you get? I guess they just came out with the new Aura ring. I heard it's like slimmest one or maybe I don't know. I like mine. I just got mine for my birthday, so I mean, who needs another one, right? But I just thought, maybe it'll be a good deal. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, congrats on your new phone. I love a new phone, especially when it's new and you don't get anything synced over to them. That's the best way to do it. Nicole, I cannot believe that he is not sitting in jail either. Do you guys remember? I don't know the little boy's name, and I could look it up. It was a little black boy, and he was 10, I think. I mean, he was so young. Like when I heard his age, I was like, like, and he killed either his mom or his brother. I don't remember. I don't remember that, and that's sad because I shouldn't remember. But I remember in my head them taking that little boy, maybe he was even 9, and they took him into jail. But we got this 16-year-old, 17-year-old now probably, just hanging around. He'll go in when he goes in, like, I don't like that. I think that's baby girl, but I think that's what it is too, because they told him also, they said to, how'd they say it? Instead of staying close, like, because they don't know where to house them. So if they house them in one area, it's closer to the family. But if they house them in another area, it's closer to his attorneys. And you would think that investigators would want him closer to his attorneys because overall they're going to be fighting for his case. But they want him actually closer to his family. And I was like, oh, they got it like that. But the FBI don't mess around. Hey, cup you. Oh, thanks. Between 7 and 8 on a cruise you have early. Oh, you just came. Did you just come back from one, Kathy? Who just came? You love cruises too, Kathy? Oh, I'll cuff you. No, not me. I go to my friend Sharma. That's probably why she never invited me. Plus, I would have told on her. She tattooed her, or I mean, she pierced her belly button before she went on her cruise one time, and then it got like infected. And I was like, well, your mom was gonna know anyway. But I was thinking buffet style too. He went to Vegas without me. Yeah, he wanted me to go, but I was like, we got the dogs, we got the new cat. It was crazy though. I about knocked him over when I picked him up. Yeah. Well, remember I was late. Then I tried to jump on him. It was not cute. You know how like yeah. It was not romantic. I think I agree about the parents. We're gonna go over all that. We're gonna go over so much in the next couple of lives because this is 145 pages. And on this channel over here, we are a little OCD. By OCD, I mean me, and you guys put up with me. But we do go through the documents and we go through them and we read them and we make sure that we understand what we're reading. If anyone has a question over a word, there is no dumb questions in this chat because if you don't ask them, I'll ask them. I mean, I will. I want to go over that case too. So Mackenzie's case is up about 3.5 hours for me. And so I still want to cover that as well. I wasn't going to cover the Mackenzie Shirilla case because of the car accident aspect of it until my doctor, he isn't even into true crime, and he saw the crash really quick. I'll talk about that. Um, and he was like, "Well, if you'll have a different perspective." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, you can kind of be on the other side of that, like where you were the passenger in a car accident. There's like 30 seconds to a minute, I swear that it's not really that long, but there's a lot that happens before you actually, get in an accident. And I feel like, maybe I can give a different perspective in that case too. So, and I mean, I'll go in non-biased. Also, I can roll up there one weekend and we could just take a little cruise around the Cleveland area. See where she's from, see all the things. But I do have some stuff up here for, of course, our live for tonight. And if you guys have any questions over this case, let me know. I have like a bunch of little notes and stuff. So today is the day that, they decided, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday or today, they pulled out this transcript that we've been waiting on. You can get on Pacer. It was like overloaded earlier. You can get on Pacer and you can pay, it's like 10 cents per like copy or whatever. The last time, I don't think I was charged at all. So I don't know how they'd be charging me if they don't have my card. But this time I expect to see a charge because a 145-page court document, it said it was only going to charge me for the first 30 pages. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Oh, really, baby girl? Oh, that prayers, I mean. The parents are still together. That's what's happening. It's so Vincent was in here earlier, and this is a question for you guys in the chat also. If you think of just think about this throughout the live. If you were Anna Kepner and this happened to you, I mean, you would not be here. You would no longer be here, but would your dad say he's not going to your trial? Because my dad would show up at the trial like ready to go to ready for him to go to prison. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that. I don't like that Anna's not having any representation there. We have Timothy, the suspect, his dad is there. I think his name's Joshua. Is that his name, Joshua? So he has someone on his side, but I guess his mom, the one that was on the trip with him that didn't give him his medication. Let's not forget. Even if that medication isn't strong, it might be strong to him. And he didn't have it for 2 nights. So, I mean, I'm not blaming, but I'm blaming. I'm blaming. That's exactly what I said to Vincent. I said, I don't know if I would be coming up from hell or coming down from heaven, but I would be haunting my father. I definitely would be. So, well, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. We'll get into the document. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to grab my drink. Hey, man, we're not licking our legs back there. We're reading tonight. Also, like, I mean, I'm surprised that Anna's dad doesn't blame her. Chantel, I mean, he's 16. I just know that, there's a lot of things that like 16-year-olds do and they don't get like, not saying that he should definitely be punished, but they don't get like punished for it. And I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be one of those things where he's going to be like, well, I should have got my medication. And then the mom's going to be like, what are they going to do? I mean, they can't really do anything to her, can they? For her not giving him his medication, if that could contribute to that. they would have to do like a lot of different testing on him. But if they did testing on him and they said that, like, okay, let's say me, I'm putting me in the hot seat. I'm on a pretty decent amount of medications that help me sleep at night and make me relax and be able to go to sleep. If I was off my medication for 2 days, I don't I would be a mess. And the mom is supposed to be responsible. Yeah, she's the one that has the medication. If she knew that she couldn't be responsible or she was gonna fall asleep that night, she shoulda gave him his medication. What's that gonna do if you give it to him early? He takes it early, right? If that's the case or whatever, then he takes it early and don't get no more. I don't know. I mean, it's not like he's gonna take sleeping medicine early, like, he's on a cruise. It's very weird. But, so in this stream, um, I'm going to be reading through the first, like, 40, 50 pages, something like that, with all of you guys live, breaking down the timeline of the case like we kinda have been, the witness statements, surveillance footage details, and the prosecution's, claims piece by piece. According to the newly released transcript, prosecutors laid out a detailed timeline from the night that Anna died aboard the Carnival Horizon. They claim that surveillance footage shows that Timothy Hudson entered the cabin minutes before Anna entered. The prosecution alleged she was never seen leaving alive. It also goes in to talk about her brother, or I think it's her half brother, stepbrother, that was in the cabin as well. So we get a little more clarity on that. And then the transcript, it just alleges that, there CCTV, like there was movements with the CCTV throughout the night outside of the cabin. There are cameras everywhere on a cruise ship. I mean, it's a cruise ship. Anna's phone was allegedly discarded and he had it like in his hand, and then where his phone like pinged, her phone stopped, he threw it away. Yeah. DNA evidence, prosecutors say, links Hudson to the crime. Testimony about how Anna's body was discovered. I mean, stuff that we didn't even hear about, that we didn't even know about. You're going to hear about it tonight. And arguments whether Hudson should remain out on bond pending trial. And I personally think that he needs to be locked the hell up. If he didn't do it, he'll get out. I'm sorry, but if this was anyone else, I'm about to find out. I want to see how old that little boy was. I think it was like Michigan. Maybe this was it. I'm gonna find him before the end of this life. That okay, yeah, I'm gonna find that little boy before the end of this life because, like, I just remember that little boy. So let me pull up the document as well. Oh yeah, and you want to hear something that's not cool? I'll tell you something. It's not that cool. Um, I went through this whole document, not this whole document. I lied. I went through like page 40 or 50, and I had everybody like highlighted. I don't know how I did it. I saved it and everything. I don't know. It's fine. Um, but I'll let you know how I usually keep my documents. And if anybody wants this document after I'm done like reading it, I'll send it over to you, like any creator or whatever. If you're not a creator, I'm just anybody that wants it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to spend the money. It's already spent. You know what I mean? It's already spent. Dang, now I'm like, okay. I think everybody should be held accountable that was an adult on that ship with them. The grandparents to the parents. I mean, Anna said to her boyfriend even knew that he was weird, that he tried to jump in the bed with her. And then she would like sleep in the dining room or something like random, like so that she didn't have to be like alone, or like there was like she slept in like a common area to where, you know what I mean? It like he couldn't do anything weird with her. And that was her like, I That was her father's house too, like, right? Like, that's just weird. So every time I've ever done like a document here on the channel, which you guys, if you don't remember this, that is perfectly fine. I'll tell you a million times. So that way, if you're ever coming in and we're reading a document, you'll kind of know which document we're reading or at least what side it's from. So if it's from the plaintiff's side, we normally will do them in pink. If it's for the defense, I'll do them in blue. And then like the transcribed or like court personnel, I'll do like, or court paperwork, like judges and things like that, I'll do in yellow. So they're not going to be in anything today because it did not save it for me. But Miss Lopez is for the state. And then I thought his name was Mr. Mr. Krill. I don't know how you say it. Is that okay? I don't know. Okay, now I'm weird. I'm weird out because this is Cohen up there, but down here, I was like Mr. Kuth or whatever his name is. That's the one I was highlighting. So I think they're both for the defense. So let me see up here. Let's just go back up for a minute. For the defense, here we go. Okay, yeah, Eric and Evan. Their names are even very similar. Okay, so let's start reading through this. This is going to be index of examination. I don't know why it only goes to 78, but this is just the first portion of it. Now, like I said, we're going to get through this. It'll talk about exactly what happened on that ship that night, the night before, all of it. So they're calling, the deputy clerk calls up TH, case number 26CR20031, Judge Bloom and Miss Lopez. Good morning, Your Honor. This is going to be the transcript of that whole proceeding. So Alejandro Lopez on behalf of the United States and present for the government side are the case agents in this matter, FBI Special Agent Andrew DeVal and Emma Pitts. And I think it's Mr. Koo. I don't know. That's what we're going to go with. Hey, Zoe. I know. And it's very, 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 very interesting document. Okay. Put my chapstick on because we're going to be reading fast through this portion of it. So it says, it's Mr. Koo, which is the attorney that's helping for the defense. Good morning, Your Honor. Edward Koo and Eric Cohen, Assistant Federal Public Defenders, on behalf of THA minor who is present before the court. And then the court says, good morning, everyone or everybody. This is a sealed courtroom in connection with this proceeding under statute section 5034. There is a pending motion for detention filed or that the government has asserted. And that was the reason we set the hearing for this morning. Is that right? Yes, Your Honor, that is right. And it is section 5038. Court says, thank you. Before we present the argument on the detention issue, I just did a little research on what this looks like in juvenile proceedings and the nuances of juvenile proceedings that I wasn't familiar with. And there was a procedural question that I wanted to ask because it may affect how long we are going to be here today. One of the things, and you correct me if I'm wrong, one of the things that I understand is that putting aside the merits or not of a particular detention motion, the effect of a detention order of a juvenile is that you have to then try the case in 30 days. Am I right? Ms. Lopez, if the government does not file a motion for adult transfer, which I have already told the defense, I do plan on doing that, and they are going to talk to their client in order to get me their position on that motion. The filing of that motion tolls the speedy trial period under section 5032, and therefore at that point, speedy trial in the case would not have to be tried in 30 days under the JDA. The district court must then hold a motion. Let me make it clear. If the defense does not waive an agreement to the transfer to adult status, then the district court will have to hold a hearing on the adult transfer where it has to discuss those 6 factors that are enumerated in section 5032. I don't know when the district court, when Judge Bloom would do that. I would assume, knowing her, that she would do it rather quickly. If the court agrees to transfer to adult status, there is an interlocutory appeal that is allowed for either side depending on the district court's decision. So that may delay things, but speedy trial continues to be told during this time. Oh, I'm just gonna. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna text Vincent really quick. Um, me, the eye drops, they're on the door and the refrigerator. It says and. I didn't even listen to me. I'll hear him when he comes up to the door. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to interrupt. Um, okay, but speedy trial continues to be told during this time. At whatever point in which the court says, and the tolling comes from where specifically, and Ms. Lopez says, from the filing of that motion, which give me 1 second, this would be section 5036. If an alleged delinquent who is in detention pending trial is not brought to trial within 30 days from the date upon which such detention has begun, the information shall be dismissed. If you look at one moment, Your Honor, the court says, you said 5036, right? Ms. Lopez says, that is the speedy trial section, right? And the court says, right. That is the section that states that it must be done within 30 days if it remains within, and the court, says, right, I read that. A juvenile status case, right. Dang, the court is not around. So then Ms. Lopez says, my understanding based on case law that I found, one moment, the court says, so it is not in the rule, it is not in the statute. Ms. Lopez says, not in that specific rule, that is correct. Okay. However, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I wasn't prepared for that specific answer, but I can let the court know that I have discussed this with my appellate section, and they indicated to me that there is still an appellate section here. There, yes, that's good. It is small, but it is still there. And the court says, okay, good. Maybe not robust. And the court said, okay, if Your Honor has other questions, I can certainly look at it. I know I have it in some of my materials here, but I just want to make sure. And the court cuts her off. I don't see that in the statute, and obviously the statute contemplates you, the government, moving to transfer to adult status. Ms. Lopez says yes. And then Mr. Cool, he comes in, he says, Your Honor, I think I can maybe shed some light on this from my understanding. So 5036 allows the court to delay the disposition hearing in the interest of justice. And so 5032, which talks about the transfer hearing, requires the transfer of the hearing to take place only after the district court has received all of the juvenile's records or a certification that no records are available or could be located. So I think it contemplates that the district court could make a finding that it is in the interest of justice to delay the deposition hearing pending adjudication of the transfer motion. Because of that language, the statute gives some flexibility in terms of the courts not allowed to hold a transfer hearing until it either has all of the records or a certification that no records exist. Okay. I'm going to put you guys over on this other screen so I can see the chat better. And if you guys don't mind, because I'm just asking you guys to be like doing all the things tonight. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button. I'm just putting you guys up here so that way I can be seeing y'all. I didn't hear Vincent come with my eye drops. So it says, what records would there be other than the docket? And Mr. Poole says, I don't know. Mr. K. Well, there wouldn't be, at least not in this case, but you can envision cases with other juveniles who have prior delinquencies. Ms. Lopez says, actually, Your Honor, the statute does require 5032 that the court receive a certified copy of either the juvenile's priors or a certification that no priors exist before it can be transferred to adult status. I know that is one sort of quirk. We don't expect that to exist here. And the court says, right, I guess the burden to present that would be on you on your motion. And then it is the factor. Okay. Just want to kind of skip through the whole 30, 50, or the 5032s. I think we can skip through that. Because they're just talking about does he have any priors? And they're saying no. Just this is just statute stuff. But I don't want to miss anything, so. I read this one. Do you think I would know? Okay. I really don't understand how you cannot. And the JDA is the Juvenile Delinquency Act, if you didn't know. Now it says here, I bring that only because the Juvenile Delinquency Act does state again, similar to the Bail Reform Act, that there is a preference, but it does give the court the mechanism to detain a juvenile if they believe that the juvenile is a risk of flight or a dangerousness to themselves or to the community. Well, yeah. When you break the law here in America, normally you go to jail. And you go to jail for up to a year, usually just until you go to court, you have your hearing, your trial. And then after that, if you're found guilty, you get shipped off to a state, prison. But there's juvenile detention centers out there. They're in every state. I'm sure as hell for sure Florida's got some, So put them in a juvenile detention center. If you feel, if they feel like he did a big boy crime, he should be able to do the big boy time. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like all corny or anything, but like seriously, he needs to be put in with the big boys. If not, if you guys are too nervous for that because he is 16, put him in with the juveniles. But he shouldn't be allowed to be around his father, his mom, whoever wants to be around him. You know what I mean? Like he shouldn't be able to have like easy access to people like that. Selling wood on the side of the road? But what? I mean, I don't know. Being able to still have a Starbucks every now and again? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he's doing it, but Anne is not here to be able to enjoy those things. So I think he should be in juvenile, at least juvenile detention. Now it says that they'll detain a juvenile if they believe that the juvenile is a flight risk or dangerousness to themselves. Yeah. Okay, I'm just reading if this says anything. I tried to locate cases for this, and as Your Honor can imagine, there is a dearth of cases on this particular issue. My argument would be because both the Bail Reform Act and the Juvenile Delinquency Act show a preference for non-incarceration. If the court believes that there are reasons why this person is either that the government has not met their burden in whatever basis they're asking. Okay. Just like I said in Idaho, they didn't give Koberger the death penalty. So I feel like anybody that goes to Idaho now and wants to go out there and commit 3 or less murders, don't even try it over here, buddy. I'll be like, you didn't get that one Coburger kid. Like, I don't get when like they're like that. And then we have this guy. I just have a feeling this kid's going to be out until he goes to trial. And then I bet you as soon as trial day number 1 rolls around, he'll be like, I'm guilty. I don't want a trial. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he has a ankle monitor on, doesn't not like those things matter or the lick, they really don't. I've seen one on one. I've seen what they can do. Like, I mean, that was a long time ago and they were on like landline phones. I don't think they do that still, do they? I don't think so. They're like, we don't really have any case law. Hmm. This is what we should do. I mean, this ain't the first time this has happened though, I'm sure. I was watching something. I mean, there's a lot of people that go missing, come up missing, or fall off the side or whatever it may be. Not like saying that this is that case, but of like cruise ships and stuff. I think there's a lot of stuff out there we don't know about cruise ship world. Okay, so they're just talking now like to transfer this to adult status. That's what they want to do. If this case were to be denied an adult status, or if for some reason my request, when I make my motion to transfer to adult status to have the speedy trial time period told during the pendency of that in the interest of justice were to be denied, I would be dismissing my information. I have an ex-colleague of mine at the state's attorney's office who is willing to indict him in the state court as an adult because this kind of charge would be a mandatory adult transfer or adult file in state court. That sounds a little that sounds a little bad. Like, if you're not going to do it, I'll go find somebody that will. Doesn't that kind of sound like that? I mean, at least someone's fighting for the case, I mean, but they're like, I will be dismissing my information and have an ex-colleague of mine. Like, if I was an ex-colleague, I would be like, don't be looking over here. I ain't your ex-colleague. I don't know, it sounds bad. Let's see what else they have to say. There are reasons both in the interest of the juvenile and in the interest of the victim's family for why I have chosen to take this route here, but understanding that I would be requesting for the speedy trial period to be told. I was just rereading this because this makes no damn sense. When I make my motion to transfer to adult status to have the speedy trial time period told during the pendency of that, and the interest of justice were to be denied, I would be dismissing my information. And I'm an ex-colleague of mine. Like, it's like, oh, wow. Okay. I mean, what, like, if this kid's doing something so bad, like, right? I mean, and he is, I personally, he's been staying with his like uncle and his dad. Like, can't the uncle be like, he ain't staying with me no more? Like, I guess not. I guess they're fighting for him. I don't know. I guess he needs somebody to be in his corner, you know what I mean? You know, there was nobody there for Anna though. I mean, even the next day, them going to breakfast without her. Okay. This is all about the attorneys. I just don't want to make anything like, I don't want to, miss anything. It says, I say that to the court not to be difficult. It is just that if my request for adult transfer is denied or I have the motion and the court does not hold the speedy trial period, yes, it would be 30 days. But at that point, because I think this is an inappropriate case to remain in juvenile status. I would ask the state's attorney's office to take it, and then I would dismiss our information, which for many reasons I would prefer not to, both in the interest of the defendant and in the interest of the next of kin and the victim's family. You put that on the judge. The court says that makes sense, but isn't the dismissal in that situation potentially with prejudice, though? Yes, it would be, and the state would take it and he would be treated as an adult over there. Okay, so what you are saying is wouldn't be with prejudice as against state authorities. As to us, under their jurisdiction, that would be correct, Your Honor. And the court says it would only be with prejudice to the federal proceeding. Correct. There are many reasons why we choose to file it here first. The state long arm statute does not or does allow the state to have jurisdiction, but only if the federal government relinquishes their jurisdiction first over this case, because we have primary jurisdiction because it is the special maritime jurisdiction of the United States. I thought anything in international, well, I guess it wouldn't be international. Well, no, it happened in international waters. Wouldn't that be the FBI? That wouldn't be the state. I mean, they pulled the boat into port in Miami or wherever. I think it was Miami, but that's weird. I don't know. There are many reasons why I have chosen to do it, both because there is a certain um, mod modicum of privacy afforded to state statute regarding the sentencing of minors charged and convicted of life felonies or punishable by life felonies is, I would say, more harsh in the sentencing scheme. Here, if it were transferred to adult status, while at some point the docket would become public, at that point there is still a was this modicum of privacy here. There is no depositions that would be taking place both from the defense side and from the government side. That would occur in the state proceeding. And then they'll say they're just still talking about and we gotta go to trial in 30 days unless you say it could be, told. Okay, so Mr. Koo, the defense wants to talk. He's like, "Can I have a minute?" So Your Honor asked whether having the hearing today kind of cuts more in our favor than it would typically under the Bail Reform Act. I think the short answer to that question is yes. The reason for that is simple. This is a 5034 hearing where the statute says if the juvenile has not been discharged before his initial appearance before the magistrate judge shall release the juvenile. And then it goes on to say that this release shall happen unless the magistrate judge determines after a hearing at which the juvenile is represented by counsel that the detention of such juvenile is required to secure his timely appearance before the court and to ensure his safety or that of others. He don't need to be anywhere near where there's other kids. He don't need to be anywhere near there's another adult that can touch it. He needs to be, he needs to be in jail, in my opinion, or JDC. Is that what it's called? JDC? Something like that out there? It's juvenile detention centers. Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't mean to go that fast. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything. This is all talking about the Bail Reform Act, and I think that he needs to be detained, but the judge does say that they need more time on that. Who else said this? Not to put the cart before the horse in a court filing. Someone else said that. I feel like it was Ann Taylor. Okay. So yeah, it just says we will move on past this point. You raised something about the probable cause issue. Ordinarily, in a detention situation, I'd have to make a finding of probable cause either der- derivatively, or I can't say that word very good, or independently of probable cause to sustain the charge. Wouldn't that be normally something that, and I have to do that as part of a detention finding? Wouldn't that apply here? If that was an issue, don't I have to find probable cause if I'm going to detain somebody? Do we need to talk about the law with these judges and the court staff? Or are they just being like, going back and forth? That's what I think they're doing. Mr. Koo said, I think so. I mean, typically it's odd because in the normal course of proceedings, right? It's when you're seeing someone and the government's moving for detention, they're here on a complaint, or they're here on an indictment, right? It's rare that they come with an information without some kind of deal set up before the person comes to court. Who cares if they came with some information if he told you everything that happened? I don't care. That's just called he has a big mouth. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for that. I mean, these two were acting like the court and Mr. Koo over here and Miss Lopez, they're all acting like they've never done this a day in their life. Like they've never had a murder on in international waters. Like they've never had anything go down on the Carnival Horizon. I've actually heard of that specific ship in another case. That's crazy. It's like, I think so. I just see him talking. I think so. I mean, typically it's kind of it's odd, because in the normal course of proceedings, right? It's when you're seeing someone and the government's moving for detention, they're here on a complaint or they're here on an indictment, right? It's rare that they come with information without some kind of deal set up before the person comes to court. This is impressive. Like, that's what I feel like they're doing, like. So in those instances, yes, right, there is a probable cause finding that would be made. Well, there should always be probable cause before you arrest anybody. You should always have to have probable cause, right? No matter what. I mean, come on. I don't care if you're a kid or not. You should have to have probable cause. And I think that they do. Um, Here it hasn't been done. Oh, guess they don't. They don't see it my way. So I would submit, yes, I think you're right in thinking that you would probably need to make a probable cause finding in addition to a finding that there's no condition or combination of conditions we could put on TH liberty to ensure that he is not a danger to himself or others. Well, right there. Lock him up. Right there. There's no condition or combination of conditions that or we could put on TH liberty to ensure that he's not a danger to himself or others. And then Miss Lopez says, Your Honor, if I may, I agree that the court should do that. I'm prepared to present the evidence and I have my case agents here, one of my case agents here to testify if the defense would like to ask cross-examination. I have tried to tailor this as close to the Bail Reform Act as I could, just because 5034 really doesn't give us a lot of guidance as to the procedure, and that is the only procedure we do have. That having been said, I will disagree with Mr. Koo that somehow we are not in criminal land or somehow this is not criminal. The JDA is specifically created to provide the process by which juveniles may be charged with crimes in federal court. They could remain on juvenile status and be a delinquent or a jud delinquent. That is the same language, for example, in Florida State Court, where someone who goes through the juvenile system having been charged with crimes is a jude delinquent. Now, under the federal case law, under state case law, and adjuding of a delinquent is akin to a conviction. Under federal case law, we are not allowed in our adult cases to present our evidence unless for some reason the defense were to argue he has no prior history or whatever, and it would open the door. The reason why I say this is because the JDA doesn't say you can only charge him with some things, some misdemeanors, or some little rinky-dink traffic ticket that would go into the Parks and Postal calendar. It specifically allows the government to bring criminal charges. Okay. One of the things that is required and is, in fact, a part of the filing in this case is it is not only the memorandum from the Attorney General allowing the U.S. Attorney to have the statutorily required provisions under 5032 where the U.S. Attorney, and it is in the certification in this record. Okay, let's go past this. This is, I feel like, redundant. If Congress did not intend juveniles to be charged with criminal offenses, that certification would not be necessary. And yet here we are because it is a criminal offense. We charge people through information with criminal offenses all the time. I can't question why Congress decided this was the procedure, why informations would be required first before an indictment. I don't know. I even tried looking at the procedural history in Congress, and I really couldn't figure that out. Are we all okay? There's like 8 people in this room. Or 2 for the defense, 2 for the prosecution, and at least a judge, right? Actually, there's like 3 people in there that I'm writing for the judge. Oh my, there's just too many people in there, too many heads, and they're getting confused or something. Because now we're going to hear about provisions in, 5037. Okay, so the point is that it allows for criminal prosecution to commence. Okay. Again, if this was not criminal, the section that provides 5037 wouldn't provide with supervision or detention. Incarceration for the juvenile if this wasn't a criminal proceeding, and in addition, it wouldn't provide the ability to transfer to adult status where the adult rules and the adult sentencing criminal scheme would apply. I only mention that because I do disagree with Mr. Koo on that. I don't know why Congress did it this way. It is certainly not the way it is done in state court, but here we are. He just has a public defenders. Yeah, his parents didn't give him a lawyer either. Happy Cappy. Welcome in, everybody. If you guys don't mind, we just take a second, hit that like button for your girl. Hey, Renee. Yeah, he's been working for the, I think it's his uncle's maybe. No, his dad has landscaping business too, but I think his uncle has some sort of business as well. And that might have been the one we saw him at, like doing the wood or something 2 years ago or last year. I remember last year. Gosh, what year are we in? 2026. It just doesn't feel like we're halfway through the year. I missed already. Okay. It says, I am prepared to present to the court today the facts of the evidence that would constitute probable cause so that the court can make that finding. Okay. And then the court says, okay, let's move forward then with that understanding of the issue that we may have to deal with. Let's go ahead and treat it as a preliminary hearing. In effect, because it is a combination of preliminary hearing and a detention hearing. Okay. Your Honor, just for the record, and this is the defense, may I respond to the criminal offense argument? Hold your thought on that. He said, okay. Ultimately, we will have to tackle it later anyway. So go ahead and call your witness, I guess. Ms. Lopez says, okay, Your Honor, may I please make a brief proffer? We're already throwing proffers out? We haven't even got to the first witness. This is going to be one of them cases. Okay, Your Honor, may I please make a brief proffer before I call the witness to testify about many of these issues, just so the court has some background. It is fine with me if it is fine with the defendant because it is treating it as a preliminary hearing. Okay, fine with them, fine. Would the court like to know the basis for the jurisdiction in this case, or would the court like me to move on to the facts? Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am. That's what the court says. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, no, we want the bullshit for it. What do you mean? What was it? Okay. We know the basis for the jurisdiction. Okay. On or about November 2nd, just so that the court is clear, and this will carry through this presentation, T, who is a 16-year-old, and the victim, who is an 18-year-old female, were United States citizens residing in Titusville. And at all times relevant to my presentation and the testimony, the victim's father, Christopher, was married to T's mother, Chantel. Therefore, T and the victim were step siblings. On or about November 2nd, the victim and her family, to include T, departed the port of Miami in Miami, Florida for a 1-week cruise around the Caribbean. At some point, they made a stop in Cozumel, Mexico. Now, during this voyage, the victim shared a cabin with her 13-year-old half-brother, the minor witness, and T, and that cabin was numbered 8343. The victim's father, T's mother, and 2 minor female sisters and stepsisters shared a separate cabin across the hall, numbered 8341. I have an idea. Just thought of this. Just thought of this out of my head. Just thought of this. Why couldn't have the girls have shared a room and then the boys all shared a room? You'd have an adult male, the dad, with the boys, and then you would have had the girls all. That sounds like more fun anyway, right? Like, we could do our makeup and we can do our hair. You know what I mean? Like, let's make this a bonding experience. But no, you want to shack up with my dad and make me go with your son. I'm just saying. I would rather all the girls. That would have been great, you know? Okay, so now on or about November 7th, 2020. Okay, that's gonna be 2025. Why are we doing 2027? Okay, I mean, after members of the ship Horizon, which is a Carnival cruise ship, went to cabin 8343 to clean it, and there they found the victim wrapped in a blanket and stuffed underneath her bed, which was the bed closest to the wall of the cabin. According to the attendants who found her, it appeared that someone had tried to hide her, again by partially putting her underneath the bed and putting a box of life vests to cover the view of the body from the rest of the room. It also appeared that the bed had not been slept in. The Carnival Cruise Line officials called the FBI, who met the ship Horizon at the port of Miami upon its return, November 8th, 2025. From the dates of November 6, 2025 through November 7th, when the victim's body was found, the ship was in the high seas. It had left the port of Cozumel on its way back to Miami. After the FBI boarded the ship on November 8th, they conducted numerous interviews of the family members, as well as looked at different things that the cruise ship had, including closed-circuit television. And it was revealed that after the family had returned to the ship on November 6th, visiting Cozumel, the family met for dinner on the Horizon. Okay. During the dinner, the victim stated that she did not feel well, complaining of pain in her mouth due to her braces and an upset stomach. And I've been there, girl, with the braces. Yeah, they can hurt. And that was captured. So it says, so she returned to her room. So she had that story, the story that they were telling us about her going back to, her room because she didn't feel good. Her teeth were bothering her. That's, true. They have it on closed, TV, closed circuit TV. But it says that, so she returned to her room, cabin 8343, by herself, and that was captured by the closed circuit television. Now, remember, Grandma, okay? Grandma said she went back up to her room. There were 2 peas in a pod, She went back up to her room, and then they all like left dinner. Like, she went to her room, the group left dinner, they went to the casino. She comes back downstairs, finds them in the casino, plays a couple games or whatever, and then is like, "Okay, grandma, I love you. You're the best. I'm going back up to my room," right? So that's what that was what grandma's story was. So let's see, if this checks out. As previously stated, the FBI then looked at the closed circuit television, and it revealed the movements of the victim T as victim T. Wait, he's not a victim. I don't know who wrote this, but I'm not a victim. Okay. And it revealed the movements of T, as well as the 13-year-old brother, the minor witness. Because remember, the minor witness, we had heard that he come in, got his like video camera or something like that. He was going to take pictures on the deck, and he didn't see his sister at all. So it says now he had been spoken to by the FBI as well, and he stated that he did go into the room for short periods of time during the evening after dinner, and that was corroborated by the closed circuit television. He did say, though, that after he decided to come back to the room to go to sleep, when he opened the cabin door to 8343, T put his arm out to block the room entrance from opening and did not allow the minor witness to enter, and yelled, "Wait, don't come inside," saying that he was changing. I got the same thing you got. What you doing? That would be weird to me too. I would be like, "That's weird, that's your brother." Like, I don't know. The minor witness noticed that both the bathroom and closet doors were open and all the lights of the cabin were turned on, which he thought was odd, or weird. T then instructed the minor witness to wait outside the cabin. CCTV captures this, where the minor witness then sits outside in the hallway, right outside the door, sitting down for a few minutes before T opens the door and allows him to enter. The minor witness acknowledged that the last time he had seen the victim inside of the cabin was earlier in the evening, when he had gone in for a minute to retrieve something with his friends. What friends? His friends. The CCTV provided the following information about the movements of T, the victim, and the minor witness. Okie dokie, here we go. Timeline. I love me a timeline. That was expensive. I would never. I mean, I love people that go on cruises. I think y'all are awesome. Y'all got a death wish going out in those high waters. It scares me. I would be the person that's too close to the banister, right? And I would, hit something. I don't know what you hit out there, but other than an iceberg, you know what I mean? But they could hit something, rock. I don't know. Okay, so at approximately, now remember the timeline. We had dinner. We went back to our room, if we're Anna, because we didn't feel our teeth hurt, and then we supposedly went back out. At approximately 7:38 p.m., the victim is seen entering cabin 8343, and this is the last time the victim is seen alive by the CCTV footage. Do you think Grandma goes to bed at 7:38 p.m.? I don't think she does. So I wonder why. I mean, that was just a really tight window. At approximately 7:51, the minor witness is seen walking down the hall towards 8343 with two friends. He enters the room and quickly exits. At some point in the evening, at about 7:35 p.m., so right before Anna goes in, T is entering the cabin. I don't know why they didn't put that chronologically. So T enters the cabin 3 minutes before the victim enters the cabin, and he is not seen exiting the cabin again by CCTV until 10:13 p.m. Upon opening the cabin door at 10:13 p.m., T is seen looking left and right down the hallway, appearing to check if there is anyone in the hallway, and then he walks outside of cabin 8343. This is the only time in which T does that action when exiting the cabin door. Maybe at that point he was like, "Oh shit, my mom fell asleep and she has my mids." I don't know, maybe. Between 10:23 and 10:49, T is observed entering and exiting the cabin approximately 2 more times. Getting rid of evidence. Then at 10:53 p.m., T exits the cabin and is observed placing the privacy sign on the cabin door and re-enters the cabin at 11:07 p.m. What, people be going in your room that late? Like, I mean, a maid? That's just stupid. I mean, like that did nothing. I don't think that probably served a purpose. But then from 11:21 p.m. to 11:23, the minor witness is observed entering and exiting cabin 8343. This is where he tells the FBI he does not see his sister. He sees her at that initial entering that occurred at 7:51 p.m. After the minor witness leaves at 11:23 p.m. at approximately 11:31 p.m., T exits the cabin and re-enters at 11:44. Then at 12:09 a.m. in the morning, now on November 7th, the minor witness is seen entering the room, is quickly observed not being let in, and then he waits outside the hallway for a couple of minutes until he re-enters the cabin. Who the hell's letting these kids run around a cruise ship at 12:09 a.m.? A minor child. He's younger than the 16-year-old. I don't know how old, but that's too young to be on a cruise ship. That's like 5 stories high? No. And you know what they were doing? They were sleeping. They were sleeping. Hey, girl. They were just taking a snooze. There's, they had to wake up early for breakfast. That's craziness. Like, I'm not a parent, but I'm just saying, if I was a parent and I had minor children on a cruise ship, you bet your ass, they wouldn't be in a room by themselves. That first and foremost, but second off, we would be checking rooms like before bedtime. And then if you were ever caught outside of that room, I was just kidding. You just know better to not do that. But like, this kid's just running around the ship. The CCTV also showed that T exited the cabin a couple of times on the morning between the times of 9 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. Oh, excuse me, a.m. outside of the same cabin. During one of those specifically, and I'll get back to the time in between, but 11:24 a.m., the Horizon State room attendant goes into the cabin, and then she is seen quickly coming out and getting her supervisor, who also comes into the cabin, and then that is when they discover the victim's body. At approximately 11:27 p.m., T is seen walking by the hallway towards 8343. I think that this is supposed to be AM, okay. And as he walks by the cabin, he makes no effort to look and see what is happening inside, even though so many people are still inside the cabin with the oh, shit. Where'd I go? With the door open. I think I need to go. Where the heck were we at? I hit this mouse and or the space bar. Oh, here we go. Okay. Um, wow. Like, that's ballsy just to be like, stuff's going on over here. And he's like, I am my room. It says basically, it says many people are still inside the cabin with the door open. He looks straight ahead and walks away. Basically, the CCTV in the court says, let me stop you. You said 11:27 p.m. I assume you meant, yeah. she met Ann. CCTV footage essentially reveals that the victim never left cabin 8343 after she entered it at approximately 7:38 p.m. on or about November 6, 2025. If you're on a boat and you're gambling and it's your last, like, one of your last nights on the boat, are you going to just be out at 7:38 p.m. and then you're going to be done? Like, I mean, let's say 7:30. Because her grandma was saying that she came back over and hung out with them and then went back to the room. So she went back at 7:30. That just seems like that's not very, she must not, I don't know. She must not have been having a very good time. Now, the body-worn camera footage from the Horizon security officers corroborated the cabin's attendant's description of how the victim's body was found, meaning it was wrapped in a blanket or a bed sheet stuffed underneath the bed with that box of life vest or life preservers placed on top of it to conceal its position. Like, they weren't going to find it. Now, during the course of the FBI's investigation on board the Horizon, after they viewed the CCTV, they tried to locate the victim's cell phone because the family had mentioned that she was never without it. They could not locate it inside of the room. The cruise ship people had also indicated that they didn't take the phone or see one in any way. The FBI then eventually looked around and decided to look in the Horizon's lost and found office, and the victim's cell phone was found there. I thought it was in the trash. I guess not. Guess it was found in the lost and found. The circumstances surrounding it being there was that a Horizon crew member found it in a trash bin. There it is, located in the rear or aft of the ship on the starboard side, meaning the right side of the vessel, which I am going to call the trash bin from now on. It appeared that it had been seriously damaged, as if it had been smashed, and that the screen was broken. The FBI then looked back at the Horizon CCTV footage from the morning of November 7th to see how that phone could have gotten out of that room if we know the victim never left the room after 7:38. They found that T leaves the cabin at approximately 9:26 a.m. and he returns to the room at 9:48 a.m. Then it reveals that at 9:50, T leaves the cabin. He is observed holding something in his left hand, and it looks like he's reaching into the sweatshirt front pocket. After he leaves, he is then observed walking to the midship lobby because cabin 8343 was towards the front of the ship, and he takes the stairs to deck 10, then walking to the aft or the rear of the ship through the Lido Marketplace restaurant. The CCTV footage shows that at 9:52 a.m., T is observed reaching into an area near the trash bin where the victim's cell phone is found. Now, the trash bin is not depicted directly by the CCTV footage, but it shows that T stayed in that area by the trash bin for approximately 22 seconds. Now, that's a lot of time. He is then observed returning the same route, which he got there at approximately 9:53 until he enters cabin 8343 at 9:55. The FBI contacted the cruise line's information technology officer to be able to trace the movements of the victim's cell phone that morning, and the following information was given to them and was provided that showed basically throughout the cruise ship as people were using the internet. In order for them to use the internet, the ship has routers throughout the ship, and people's phones, once they enter into the cruise ship's Wi-Fi systems, will connect to these routers. They're called wireless access points also. So they'll have these wireless access points. That way there's enough, like, basically to get the internet to go from like here to like over here. Maybe you need to put the access point in the middle, like, like to make that the internet go like further. Does that make sense? That's what I was getting out of that. So it says that information, meaning the client's association history, the MAC address, and the path connections to the Horizon's wireless networks for any particular phone or computer, is kept in their care, custody, and control, as are records in their regular course of business. Huh. They're not messing around. There's not. Yeah, Laura, he was. Like, he knew the things to do. But then doing the things, he was holding his phone. You know what I mean? Like, man, they always take their phone with them. That's just like a natural thing to grab, you know? So it says here, the tracing of this information provided the following. At approximately 9:26, when Tia is seen exiting cabin 8343 on CCTV, as I mentioned, the victim is not seen. Then at 9:27, when CCTV shows him on deck 10 in the Lido Marketplace, the victim's client association history data with the cruise ship reveals that T in the victim's phone, meaning the victim's phone is taking the same route towards the aft of the ship as the victim's phone. It's hitting all of the wireless networks or access points on that route. Boop, boop. Look, I knew something. Vincent, you'd be proud. He taught me that kind of stuff. At approximately 9:29 a.m., the victim's phone connected to routers near deck 10 at the Lido Marketplace of the Horizon. The client's association history showed that the victim's phone is taking the same path of travel as T's. At approximately 9:32 a.m., T is seen smoking in the area of deck 11. Oh, where'd you get the cigarettes? Who'd he get? I mean, because like you don't know anybody on a cruise ship to be like, "How about a smoke from you?" You know what I mean? Like, no. Do people even smoke on cruise ships? Are you allowed? There's probably designated smoking areas. Oh, he was smoking a cigarette. I guess that's what he was smoking too. I didn't. I don't. You know. I mean, I guess after all that, he needed to smoke. At approximately 9:39 a.m., the victim's phone connected to routers near deck 12, the jogger's deck, which is on the port side of the Horizon. The same time, T is captured by CCTV cameras walking on deck 12 at the jogging track port side. Then it shows that T is walking on the jogging track until approximately 9:46 a.m. I'm just out here jogging, just out here getting my exercise. Oh my gosh. And then at 9:48, he enters the cabin again. And then the victim's phone at 9:50 is connected to the router in cabin 8343. Why would the victim's phone be? At the same time, at approximately 9:50 a.m., T is then captured exiting 8343 and walking to the midship lobby. This is when he is then observed taking the stairs to deck 10 and then walking down to the aft of the Horizon again through the Lido Marketplace. While he is doing so at 9:52 a.m., T is observed reaching the area of the trash bin. While the trash bin again is not directly covered by the CCTV footage, it shows that he stays there for 22 seconds. Did we just read this? Yeah, we did. It says here that a search warrant obtained by the FBI for T's phone and the victim's phone was also searched. The phones did not reveal any information about the victim's murder, nor did it reveal the information about the relationship between victim and T. There was no relationship. It neither showed a good nor a bad relationship between the two. Hey, Grandma. Grandma, you said they were two peas in a pod. You know, that's not any pod I'd want to be in. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, like, no. No matter what, it's weird. You, like, should not wanna be two peas in a pod with your stepbrother. Like, I wanna be cool with my brother and my stepbrother, but I wanna be two peas in a pod with him. Um, it says the medical examiner, I'm just gonna call him Dr. Jonathan K. Can Kara J. I don't know, for the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office, also arrived on the Horizon in order to conduct his investigation. At that point, the victim's body was moved from its location after it was documented, and then he began to undress the victim and to prepare to take her to the medical examiner's office. After they undressed the victim to conduct their preliminary examination, Dr. K observed that the victim's underwear was worn in an unusual manner. Specifically, the underwear's waistband. It will be noted she was fully clothed with a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Okay, so they had to remove that to see the underwear. Okay, what was wrong with the underwear? So, victim's underwear was worn in an unusual manner. So are they saying like the shirt and the undershirt was like under the underwear and the underwear was like pulled up over the shirt? Yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't know. I love my own brother, and I don't want to be too positive with you, Tom. I'm just kidding. I love my brother. Oh, I read that wrong, Kathy. All I saw was I will. I thought I read I will the drink package and stay puzzled. Jeez, Kathy, don't do it. Yeah, Nancy has said that. I think I actually saw that in another article too. Well, in this one, but there was one. I was looking to see if this was the one, but there because I remember like seeing that. It could have been there too, though. Okay, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, okay, it says Dr. K observed that the victim's underwear was worn in an unusual manner. Okay, so regular, the things that would be unusual would be like backwards. I don't know. That's not it. It says specifically the underwear's waistband. It will be noted that she was fully clothed with a sweatshirt and sweatpants. So they had to be removed. Was observed to be bunched up, twisted and folded up. I'm just trying to see if there's like, because like, okay, like okay, this wouldn't be underwear, right? But when you were a kid and you had on like, you had like, I don't know, you can't get my leg up that high, y'all. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. But like when you're little and you had the little pants and you cuffed them at the bottom, then you rolled them up. That's what I was thinking. But this is underwear. This would be, I mean, you don't do that with your underwear. So this would be probably him pulling them back up, right? The underwear was further found, meaning the section that covers the vagina entry area. Oh, wow, okay. That part of the underwear was found to be inserted inside the victim's vagina. Oh, okay. You sick. What? Oh my goodness. Now I know why it was like that. Oh, disgusting young man. Based on his observations of the underwear and the way it appeared on the victim's body, Dr. K opined that there was an indication from his preliminary examination of possible SA, but would need to confirm with further examination. Therefore, on or about November 9th, he conducted the autopsy of the victim. I need a drink after that. Like, I mean, I think I need a drink, like a stiff drink. Like, I don't know what to say. I hate this. I hate this for Anna. Oh, yeah, they did get DNA from him. Well, yeah. He knew. I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. Okay. So, oh, I think I went down one. Okay, here it is. During the autopsy, Dr. K observed petechiae, that is the tiny pinpoint red spots under the skin caused by bleeding from small capillaries, and he noticed this petechiae in the victim's eyes and face. Significant areas of bruising were found on the sides and rear of the victim's neck area. So the sides and then the rear. Specifically, more on the left side. There was also significant bruising of the victim's left ear. A significant amount of grayish, viscous liquid was present in the victim's. I don't think I need to say it, but her canal. Now, Dr. K at that point noted that the petechiae and bruising were indicative of possible mechanical asphyxiation. This means strangulation. And he additionally collected a rape kit from the victim as well as her nail clippings, which is standard. On or about November 10th, Dr. K contacted law enforcement, stated he had ruled that the victim's death was due to mechanical asphyxiation, most likely from a chokehold, with enough force that such bruising and blood were in the ear area and that the manner of the victim's death was homicide. The final tox report from the victim found there were therapeutic amounts of I forgot what this is called, butyl, a medication with acetaminophen, aspirin, caffeine, and codeine. What is that, like Excedrin? No, not codeine. I don't have codeine and Excedrin. Treat tension headaches. What would they put? Like a Vicodin? What would they give you for tension headaches? I get migraines and I don't get nothing. Like I get Botox. I can't take aspirin. I'm allergic. But I'm just wondering, I'm like, what we from her braces, but still, like they wouldn't. It says like use primary. I guess it could be used to treat something else, but I wonder if she just got her braces. If that was like something new. Or if that was something that she, if she had had those braces on for, years, or if that was something new, or if it, say she had braces on once and they didn't work out, she had to have them on again and you had to like do the tightening. Remember that? I've had my mouth wired shut for 8 weeks. I'm good on any braces. Okay. I ain't doing that. I do a retainer right now and that's too much. I'm just wondering what they would give you to treat. I'm gonna call my doctor tomorrow. I want to know. She did just get them. Because usually when you're 18, you don't get braces when you're 18. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like when you're 40, you usually get braces. But some people have them. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, shit. There's definitely nothing wrong with it. But you know what I mean? Like, usually you get them when you're like younger. So I thought maybe it was she had got headaches or something. The rape kit and fingernail clippings were sent to the FBI laboratory in Quantico for testing. And look at how fast this testing came back. Look at that. And Shana Nanos is over there struggling in Arizona. On or about November 24th of 2025, they informed law enforcement that all these reports have been provided to the defense. The court is aware that the swaths from the victim's R kit tested positive for DNA specifically to this case. Because I'm going to tell you something, you dumbass little kid. Underwear isn't a condom. It's not. Not even a little bit. Not even just like, not even a little bit. Is it going to help you, buddy? Your DNA is going to be there. And that's what I think he was using the underwear for. I'm just saying. So swab number 4, a swab from inside the vaginal canal, tested positive for male sperm in addition to the victim's own DNA. And swab 5, a second DNA swab of the victim's vaginal canal, while negative for sperm, did test positive for male DNA in addition to the victim's own DNA. Based on these preliminary results, the FBI obtained a search warrant for T's DNA, which was signed by a district court judge in the Middle District of Florida, and 2 DNA swabs were taken from him. DNA swabs were also obtained from a minor who lives out of state with whom the victim had sexual intercourse while on the cruise. Who I refer to as minor and witness to. What? What? Were we having, was this a party? I mean, I know she's 18, but, well, I mean, that's crazy. Hey, Heather. Hey, Mary. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. I'm just like, do you think that could be why maybe this happened? Like, I'm not saying this is never the victim's fault. I want to make sure, because sometimes my words, they be coming out kind of weird. But do you think that do you think that, for sure Timothy knew? He's not, I mean, like, she wouldn't have came back one night, right? Or she would have came back, like, late. Maybe he saw her with that guy, or, like, and maybe that's what set it off? Oh, Kathy, maybe, yeah, maybe he thought they'll blame that other guy because his DNA. Maybe he thought his DNA would be there. Oh my gosh, what if he did? What if he really thought that? He probably did think that. I mean, because, you're 18 years old, you're allowed to have fun. Based on these preliminary results, the FBI obtained a search warrant for T's DNA, which was signed by, okay, we read that, sorry. The FBI laboratory compared the DNA standards from T and minor witness to the male DNA profile found in the 2 vaginal swabs. The results were as follows. As to swab 4, okay, the one that tested positive for sperm, minor witness 2 was excluded as a contributor. As I mentioned before, the victim's DNA, the female DNA profile, did belong to the victim and was present in that mixture. I think they're making him sound like, I think they're putting him down as the victim too. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why they're doing that. The result as to the main DNA that was obtained from that sperm was that it is 126 trillion times more likely that the victim and T were the contributors of the mixture than if the victim and an unknown, unrelated person to T were the contributors to the mixture. Therefore, the results from this item had very strong support for the inclusion of T as the contributor of the male DNA in the mixture. As to swab 5, the swab that came back sperm negative but positive for male DNA, minor witness 2 was excluded as the contributor. The female profiles, as I mentioned before, belonged to the victim. The result that it is 1.2 septillion times more likely that the victim and T were the contributors of the mixture than if the victim and an unknown, unrelated person were contributors of that mixture. So Dr. K opined that all the evidence he found on the body, as well as the evidence from the DNA, were consistent with a SA occurring, and that the SA had happened ante-mortem, that is, before death. I mean, like, he's not a big kid. Even if, like, there's a chokehold situation, like, I wonder if she was sleeping. Like, I'm just like, because I can see Anna taking him. I really can. I could see Anna, like, really taking him. Like, I feel like he had to have gotten the upper hand on her somehow. Like, I think that she was sleeping or something. And he woke her up doing maybe both. I don't know. I don't even, my goodness. Okay. Okay, so this is actually a good time to stop because this is the No, this is the next guy, Special Agent Andrew Delvalle from the FBI. So we'll start there. And I'm gonna come on tomorrow's Friday. I'm gonna come on earlier tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, he killed her with, like, a chokehold, but I'm wondering if that's, like, I'm wondering if she was sleeping. I mean, just I need someone to do an experiment with me. I don't wanna hurt Vincent, though. I need someone else, like, to hurt, you know what I mean? Like my brother, some I need someone a little bit bigger, like, bigger than me. I just wanna see how far, because I know it could be, like, a matter of seconds and someone can get the upper hand on you. I feel like we all need to be taking self-defense classes. I think I might be teaching them on the second channel, shoot. I should. I've been working out every day. I'm getting new shoes tomorrow for the gym because my feet have been killing. Hey, Jen. Yeah, it said, yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, that's a long time. And it can take we're upwards to like 7. Like, that's a long time to be on top of somebody struggling with you. I mean, that's a premeditate like that's premeditation all the way. I mean, you're sitting there killing somebody. You have time to think. Like, okay, this is bad. Stop. But he didn't. And then his mother, I don't know. If I that was if my mom, it almost sounds like, and she could be, and she if she can, if she wants to, I guess, whatever she wants to do. But to me, it's almost like the mom's choosing the husband over her kid. But at the same time, it's like, well, her kid did do, like, allegedly could have, he did do this. There's a lot of zeros behind those numbers. But I don't know, as a mom, like, could you just be like, my kid, like, messed up that bad, like, see ya? I don't know. Like, I don't think that I would be like, my kid's innocent, but at the same time, I think I would still be there at court. I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I don't know what I would do, but it would be so hard on his mom. Yeah, like, it bothers me, and I'm not even a mom. I'm just like, what would I do? Like, I would, because you should be able to move forward, right? Like, he did this, like, but it's like he's 16, but then it's like, but then they can try you as an adult, but it's like almost like they're 16, and it's like, I don't, it's just really, that's a really hard decision that you would have to be. They did just get married too. I think that that probably has a lot to do with it. Like, they were still in their, like, honeymoon kind of phase, which I think that could wear off. And they could, a couple years down the line, I don't know. Yeah, like, I would never want him to feel abandoned. That's what I struggle with, Mary. Like, I mean, even like a dog, like, or a puppy, like, whenever I see a cat, you go saw me at wherever she's at. She's around here somewhere. I heard right before the live visit was like, Tessie. She's been running this whole place, so. So they're charging him with, pretty much sexual assault and murder. Like, he ain't gonna get out. He goes in, he gonna probably be in there forever. I mean, at least the next 50 years. Right? Especially your child. And then, like, I guess it's like you're as a mom, I hope she's not listening to this. I hope she doesn't blame herself, but, like, I think I would blame myself as a mom. Like, what did I do? Could I have done more? I don't know. Actually, I might be blaming old Joshua over there, the dad. Just because I don't know, your emotions would be literally out of this world. Like, you get married, you're blending this family together that you think is just gonna blend beautifully, um, and it doesn't. And they had to have I don't see Anna not saying anything at all. Like, and if she did, I wanna see about the ex-boyfriend again. I just feel like he would say something almost, like, you know what I mean? Like, "Do you know what your stepson's doing?" Like, I don't know, like, I wish somebody was there that would have spoke out for Anna more, like, even her grandparents, like, her grandma, like, was like, "They're just like 2 peas in a pod. We just cannot believe this." What do you mean, what's not to believe? He was a 16-year-old kid, and you were letting them in the same room on a cruise ship. Now, maybe I don't know, maybe he kept the secret for Anna about the boy. Maybe the boy came to, back to the state house or state, whatever it's called. And he said, "Now you owe me a favor." And she was like, "Oh, no, I don't." Or, I don't know. But I do wanna know what happened inside that room. I wanna know what the conversation was because he kills her, and then his little brother or her little brother, I think it's his, they come knocking on the door, and he's like, "Yeah, you can't come in." Immediately, the parents' room was right across. I would have turned, and I would have been banging on that door. You know little brothers, little sisters, parents and how kids are. I would have totally did that. I'd have been like, "He's not letting me in there." But apparently these kids, they don't do that. Did the ex-boyfriend tell the parents? I didn't know if he did or not. I know he said on the like, he did the interview, but I didn't know if, like, she told him, like, "Don't say anything." Yeah, there's just too many people, yeah. And then so wait, if the father would have I never believed this. The father would have found her, right, or whatever. We all knew it was the lady that was cleaning the room, but he would have saw Timothy walk by and acting like it wasn't his room. Oh, something's going on in my room. I don't know. Like, I don't get that. It's just, man. Yeah, Laura, you're right. And the dad wanted custody. I think his name was Joshua, but I want to say that's wrong. I bet that was. I'm just reading back through the chat. It is a lose lose. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's very sad. It is very, very, very sad. I hope that, yeah, I hope that she gets justice, and I hope that there's people there to get to see that she gets justice. I hope her dad changes his mind and wants to see that little asshole, see him. If allegedly if he did this, which I mean, those numbers are pretty high. The DNA, I think that he needs to be put in jail. Now, I don't now do I think he needs to be put in there for the next 70, 80, 90 years, the rest of his life? That's not my decision. That's gonna be a jury's decision to figure that one out. Thank goodness it ain't gonna be me. 'Cause 16 so young, like, I know it's like, I don't even know how to explain how it's like you're so young, but you're not, but you are. Like, and I don't think that, I do think that it doesn't matter, his age, that he would have ended up doing something like this to somebody. I mean, if he's already gonna do it when he's 16. Oh my goodness. So I was gonna see if what else I had up here, if there was anything. I want to keep this. I don't want to lose that. What page are we on? 36. And I'll cut through some of them pages tomorrow and get to the stuff that's like the meat and potatoes. But it sounds like that Anna's father wants her stepbrother to be put into jail. Um, yeah, while he waits. I was gonna see if there was. Oh, thought I saw something interesting, but I didn't. There's really. I went to Twitter to see if there's anything, but I don't see. I will show you a picture of Timothy though, just in case you haven't seen him. Because I mean, I have one on my thumbnail, but there's like a better picture of him. That was him leaving courthouse today. Like, see ya. You know, just waiting. I just don't get it. Um, I keep just like seeing stuff, and I'm thinking, is it anything? Okay, I don't think I have anything else. I'll go over to YouTube. I think everybody is just at CrimeCon this weekend, but it's like I haven't seen anybody going live from CrimeCon. Like this person that doesn't even cover true crime, I don't know why she got invited, but she did. I'm just saying, I said it to her too. I was like, I don't understand it because you're like, but whatever. Um, they're talking about like I don't know. I'm not even gonna go into it because it's nothing to do with even true crime. It's like I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But no, I thought there'd be like more people like live from there. Because I know that a lot of people, their subscribers, like, buy their tickets or buy their hotels or their accommodations or whatever when they go. And I'm just like, I don't see anybody really on the YouTubes. More people have to come and say hello to us, right? Um, but yeah, I don't see anything too much. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time. And hopefully, there's some juicy gossip when they're all done and it's all over and done with. Because, there will be some stuff. There will. I wanted to go really bad this year. I didn't really care about it until like a couple weeks ago. Then I was like, shit. I was like, I'm having FOMO. Um, so I told Vince, I was like, I'm having FOMO. And there's a bunch of different award shows that are actually like I would be more interested in actually going to than CrimeCon. And I didn't know that they're actually like free to go to. Like as long as you're in uh like you're in you know, the Google, whatever it is, program. As long as you can make monetize your videos, you can go. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was like, it would be really fun to go to one. Yes. So there's only one every year. And I want to take my Nancy cardboard cutout before she breaks down on me because she's getting busted. I've had her for like 4 years. I want to take her with me so then, I can go find Nancy and be like, Nancy, just run around with my cardboard cutout because she'd be talking to me if I have a 5 foot, 6 foot, I don't know how tall that thing is of Nancy. I'd be like, Was from Nate. Well, okay, so I don't know if you guys follow this, but if you're following the Laura Matthias crazy drama with her, the girl, she spoke. The girl that was speaking through the TikToks, but then she wasn't speaking. She's speaking. They offered her a free ticket to go to CrimeCon. I know she does painting, so I don't know. Very weird. But yeah, I guess there'll be some, I mean, maybe there'll be some drama. Get Nancy a plane ticket. I would too. Wouldn't that be funny if I took her like all the way through through customs and everything? Like, or like TSA. Been like, okay, no, gotta get Nancy. We gotta put her through the metal detector. I would do that. And then I'd be like, now do the wand. That would be so funny. That would be funny. Hopefully next year they have it somewhere where it's like, I don't know, more on this side of the country. Actually, it doesn't really matter because I like to go out. I mean, I like to go everywhere, so it doesn't matter. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I will be back on tomorrow to read over the rest of these documents. I'm going to try to come on early. I'm going to try because I'm not going to work out until the mail runs. So I'm waiting on something to come in the mail. So I don't want to work out before then. What was it? Makes me question why they didn't pick up on the creepy infection. Yeah, I think they did. Nashville would be nice. Yeah, please hit the bell and hit the like and the subscribe and all the things. Because we're going to hit 25,000 subscribers. We're getting so close. I do appreciate you guys being here tonight, though. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Friday, I like Friday afternoon lives. Usually they're pretty fun. So I'll see you guys all in the afternoon sometime, and I will see you guys then. Have a good day. Bye.
I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah.